It's Do-It-Yourself Wednesday. This morning, we're learning about drywall, hanging and repair. TV6's Andrew LaCombe joins us from Lowe's in Market Township for the Lowdown so we can get help from the experts. Andrew?
Good morning, Vicki. Yeah, it's Do-It-Yourself Wednesday, and if someone is working on a project, maybe fixing up one room or a bunch of rooms somewhere, one of the most daunting tasks will be dealing with drywall. And we're going to get some tips this morning from Jeremy. He is a sales specialist here at Lowe's. Thanks for being here, Jeremy. And tell me what people need to deal with hanging drywall.
Well, the most obvious thing they need is the drywall. It comes in 4 foot wide by 8 foot, 10 foot, 12 foot. The professionals sometimes will even use 14 and 16 foot pieces. The biggest goal is trying to get it hung like a wall, hung in normally 2 pieces stacked on top of each other. That way you have less taping, which is the next step after getting it hung.
All right, looks like you have a bunch of all different sizes here.
Yeah, here at the store we have 8 foot, 10 foot and 12 foot. There's different kinds as well. There's 1/2 inch, and then there's also the 5/8. 5/8 is used for your ceilings where it's a 2 foot on center. Your 1/2 inch is used for your walls, and any ceiling that is 16 inches on center where your joists are. Another important thing is there's 2 different kinds. There's what's called moisture or green board. We call it at the store. They also have it in purple. That you want to use in your high moisture areas like your bathrooms and your saunas.
Okay, important things to remember. And so there's also plenty of tools that you need.
There sure are. One of the things would be you always want to start with, for the hanging, you're going to use screws. So anything that is 1/2 inch, you want to use 1 1/4 screws. Anything that's 5/8, you want to use 1 5/8 screws. With those screws, you want to, with anything that's on the walls, you want to use 4 screws, which we'll show you here in a moment. Anything on the ceiling, you want to put 5 screws per stud. With the drywall gun, this is more used by people that are doing it quite often. It's a gun where you load a screw into it. As you push it, it'll stop at a certain point, so therefore you don't pop the back part of the paper. Another thing is the drywall insert bit, which is most commonly used by homeowners because it's something that you can put on your everyday drill. Makes it nice and easy to go. And as that gets to the face of the paper, it'll pop off, and then you might have to come back with another screw to make sure it's nice and recessed in there.
All right, do you want to show us where people would put the screws in?
I sure will. On this piece of drywall here, I have 4 dots that I put. This is for wall purposes. So 1 on the edge, 2 in what we call the field or the center of the board, and then 1 on the other edge. As for cutting, we have a drywall T-square. And what you do, you put that on there, you get your measurement on how far you want it. You just come down, 1 swipe will do ya. Pull that away, and then it's just a matter of holding the backside. Comes right off. And then 1 swipe on the backside. On that backside, we were talking about that paper. This is the major thing you don't want to break when you are screwing through. This is kind of what holds a lot of the drywall on the wall.
Okay. Thanks for showing us that, Jeremy. And if people want to watch this again, a lot of great information here. You can check it out on our website. We'll post it there later today. That's uppermichigansource.com. Jeremy's going to be back with us coming up in about a half hour. We're going to talk about some drywall repairs. So more tips on drywall coming at you this morning on the TV6 Morning News. We're going to send things back to the studio now, live in Marquette Township. Andrew LaCombe, TV6 News.
Hey, Andrew, could you ask him one real quick question for me? If I want to hang drywall, say I've got paneling up, should I take the paneling down first or leave the paneling up and just put the drywall over the top of it?
If Vicki wants to hang drywall and she has paneling up, should she take the paneling down first, or should she and put the drywall over the top of it, or should she take the paneling down?
It's easiest to take the paneling down and then put the drywall. If you are going to keep the drywall up, you just need longer screws to accommodate how far in you're going with that.
Okay, I hope that answers your question, Vicki.
It does. Thank you very much. All right,
is that
guys.
what I interpreted?
Yep. All right, thank you much. We'll catch up with you again a little bit later on. All right, see, that is a sign of spring, no matter what the weather is. Thinking of home repairs and, oh, wait till we start the lawn stuff. Do-It-Yourself Wednesday continues. Earlier this morning, we learned about hanging drywall. Now let's get some tips on how to repair it. TV6's Andrew LaCombe is at Lowe's in Market Township to get advice from their experts. Andrew?
Good morning again, Vicki. Yeah, a hole like this in drywall might be something you've seen before. Maybe this is behind a door where a doorknob hits it, or maybe a child or someone threw something through the wall. And so we're going to learn some tips on how to repair some holes in drywall. Jeremy Wright's back with us, a sales specialist here at Lowe's. And so tell us first, how, if we had a smaller hole, what would be a good way to repair that?
An easy way, a smaller hole would be, from taking a picture down and you don't want that picture there anymore, you can just get a small thing of spackle, and comes with a putty knife depending on which thing you get. It's going to run you like $8 to $10 depending, and then all you do is you would take a little bit of spackle, you'd put it on the hole, and you'd wipe it tight. Very easy, very simple to do. A lot of times people, when they're moving out of an apartment or things like that, this is something you could do that might save you that security deposit that you might have to give up.
Okay, and now what about if we have a bigger hole like this?
Bigger hole, there's two ways to do it. One, the easier way that kind of is more of a surface repair is what I would call it, is you can buy 3 different patches, a 4x4, a 6x6, or an 8x8. But if the hole is larger, or if you want something that's a little bit more sustained, or it's got more to it, something like this, you would get your piece that you're going to put back in there, kind of draw where you're going to cut. You're going to want to cut a little bit bigger than that. That might have been a little bit too much bigger, but
Better to be safe than sorry, right?
oh, very much so. Next, you're going to have to push that knife in a little bit deeper. Thanks for holding that.
Yeah. It's tough. It's not a real wall.
Yeah, my wall might fall over. Again, careful to make sure you're not cutting your hand. There we go. Want to get it nice and clean.
So you're cleaning up all the edges.
Cleaning up the edges, you can grab a putty knife, kind of scrape that a little bit more clean. Then the next big important step is getting a piece of backer of some kind. Any scrap wood that you have laying around will work. You just slide it through the hole, and obviously, depending on the size of cavity you have, you might not be able to put something this large. And then for something this size, you probably would want a larger piece. Then you would just take your drywall screw, and you'd kind of tack it here, holding this there. Do you mind holding it right there?
Yep.
And then we would take our patch, and you could put that right up onto it. As you can see, we cut a little bit bigger. And then you would screw your patch right to it. And then at that point, now you have something that is flush with the drywall. It's got a lot more structure than necessarily one of these easy just slap-on patches. And then you would just start your mudding process, starting with filling in your big cracks that you have.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Jeremy. There's three ways to deal with patches, repairing drywall. So we're going to send things back to the studio. If you want to check this out again or check out any of our other do-it-yourself segments, go to our website, uppermichigansource.com. We'll post this video later on today. We're live in Marquette Township this morning. Andrew LaCombe, TV6 News.
All right, thank Andrew. He made it look so easy, and now I'm getting enthused.